So we have this default homepage, but we want to go ahead and change it. It's got some, helpful information about Rails and links, but we don't need to worry about that. The first thing we're going to do is change this homepage so it's more relevant to the application we're building. So the way we do that in Rails, I'm going to cut off this server by hitting Control-C on my keyboard. You can do that on a Windows or a Mac machine. And now that I've hit Control-C, my prompt is showing again. So the server is not running. So if I were to go back to this page, you would see that it now says the server is not running. We can't preview the work, but that's okay. What I'm going to do here, the first thing we're going to do is branch off of the master branch in Git. Okay, so we're going to pull away from this main master track of code and create a new track of code, essentially. The way we do that is we type git checkout -b and then come up with a branch name. Let's use the same name here. We'll do site_pages. So that'll be the name of this new branch. So that means any code we're going to write after I hit enter here is going to be related to the site pages. That's what we should do. That's just going to keep things organized. We've now labeled all of the code on this new branch that it says here we've created as site pages. So we're going to write any code related to that. That's our goal here. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is create a file here in this application directory, in this app directory here. Okay, so what I want to explain to you right now is that this app directory is where a lot of our code is going to go. A large majority of the actual application is going to sit right here in this folder, in the controllers folder especially, the models, and the views, okay? That's where we're going to put most of our code. And those are just simply folders with files inside of them, okay? So what we're going to do right now is generate a file here. We're going to create a file called pages controller so that we can have a controller that's designed to manage our actual web application pages. Okay, so this will make sense down the line, but what I want you to do right now is just type this. Type Rails generate, watch your spelling there, controller, and then pages. Okay, so just like that, type that out and we'll hit enter. And what this is going to do is it's just going to generate a number of files. You can scroll up and kind of see what it's done. It's created a number of files for us that are relevant to the pages controller. Okay, so just follow along. I'm going to refresh over here. Or likewise, you can just unfold and fold it back, open it back. And you'll see this new file has been created here called the pages controller. Okay, so if I click on it, it's also got some code that was inserted into it. So that single command generated this file. It also generated a folder for us here called pages and a few other things for us. But that's good. That's what we want. So now in this file, what I want you to do is hit enter here and then type def, and we'll just say homepage and then hit end. Okay, and watch the indentation there. You want to kind of match this. So what we're doing is in this controller, we're saying we want a home action. Okay, and we'll explain all this a little bit more down the line. We'll elaborate on it, but just run with this for now. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and go over here to this views folder. And under the same pages folder there that was generated, we're going to right click on that pages name there and say new file right here. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to write home.html.erb. So notice what we're doing. We're matching that name here, home, with this file here. Okay, so now I just clicked on that file, and I want you to just in this file type this code in. We're going to type angle bracket h2, and we'll just say home, and then we'll close that h2. So this is just basic HTML. And notice again the file extension here. It's home.html.erb down here. So make sure you have all of that. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go over to this file here, a special file under this configuration folder here. Okay, so if you have trouble seeing that, I'm going to close some of this right now. And remember, you can pause your screen if you're having trouble following along. Just click this config folder here, and you want to go to this routes.rb file. Okay, and so what we're going to do right here is we're simply just going to write just under this, root, and in single quotes, pages, and then this hashtag or #, and then we'll say home. Okay, and I'm just going to hit save now. Okay, so what we've done is we've just done this workflow for creating a controller action for the home page, creating the actual view layer, the actual HTML page itself, and then we've gone into this router file. And this is a very important step. The router is really important for routing every single URL or page in our application. Now that we've done that, let's just do this. We'll go back down here to the console and say git status. And you'll see we've got all of these new files that have been added here, okay? And some of them have modifications in them as well, as we know. You know, we modified that pages controller file and so on. So what we're going to do now is say git add dot, so we can add all of these changes. And then we're going to say git commit -m. And in quotation marks, we're going to say added pages controller, comma, home view, and route. Okay, so just a note for what we just did. We've done a couple of things here. We've added a few files and added some lines of code. So now I'm just going to hit enter here. And there we go. The changes have been made there. And what I want to do now is just go back and let's preview our code. So we're going to say bundle exec rails s to run the server. And I'll hit enter. And then once this loads up, and you'll know it's loaded up when you see all this right down here where it says WebRick, we can now go back and preview just by clicking this preview and then port 3000. And now you'll see the home page has changed. It's now the home page that we came up with that home H2 tag right there in the HTML. So there we go. We've successfully modified the home page in our application. And now what we want to do, go ahead and close this server back down. Or actually, better yet, before you do that, or if you already did that, you can run it again. Just go back and open this new tab here. And we're going to go back to our application directory. We're going to go cd workspace / simple codecast sass and hit enter. Okay, so now from here, we have two tabs. We have one tab running the actual application server itself, and we have this other tab where we're able to write more commands. We're going to push this now to GitHub. And remember, the way we do that is we say git push, and then we're going to say origin and the branch name, site pages. So I'm going to hit enter here. And we've just sent off that code to GitHub itself. And then what we're going to do now is merge that code into the master branch. Okay, so we're going to say git, make sure you click down here, git checkout master. We're going back to the master branch. Okay, and so now the master branch, you'll see the prompt has changed here. It's not aware of any of the changes yet, but that's okay. What we're going to do is say git merge site pages. We're merging in the changes to the master branch. And if this isn't making any sense to you, that's okay. Just follow along right now. So I just hit enter, and it's added all of our changes that we just made, as you can see here. And now we're going to say git push origin master. Okay, so we're going to send up the latest code to GitHub. And finally, now that we've done that, we're going to say git push Heroku master. We're going to deploy this latest code to the public now. So we'll no longer see this homepage. We should see it match what we have here in the preview tab. Okay, and the way we'll do that is just hit enter down here. And we're going to let it deploy. Remember, deploying to Heroku takes a little more time. And now that it's done, you should be able to go back to your Heroku web address and it should show up right here at the end of the output log, but if not, you can always just type Heroku, click here, Heroku domains, and grab that URL right there, and we can go and look at it now. And we'll see now on production, the homepage has changed as well. Let me zoom back into that. So the homepage now matches what we have in our preview address. Notice these addresses are different, okay? So this is our Heroku address. This is our actual live production. This is our preview address. We wouldn't want to share this address with anyone because this is kind of our playground when we're developing, whereas this is our actual professional homepage. So there we go. We've just successfully deployed our first change, which is the new homepage. Now it looks pretty ugly, but we're going to work on styling it out and making it look pretty slick going forward.